All right, so the Buccaneers lose to the Atlanta Falcons, 16-13, the final score. If I look a little red, it's because I got a little sunburn being at the game. I was there in the upper deck, so I figured I would give my thoughts on the game. What went wrong here for Tampa Bay, as it was it was an ugly game at times. Whichever team ended up losing this game was going to feel like they blew the game. That's just how it was going to go. Because, Falcons, obviously Desmond Ridder, 3 fumbles, all in field goal range, 2 of them at the 1 yard line. I mean, that's just, that's brutal. And especially the third one, listen, fumbled snap, you don't like it. It does happen. Kind of getting stripped as you're getting sacked, bad timing, you're throwing at the worst possible time. You don't love it either, but it happens. The third one, though, you have to be having 2 hands on that ball there. He didn't see Winfield. Good hustle play by Winfield for sure. But Ridder made a ton of mistakes there. Tampa Bay, though, they couldn't get out of their own way as well offensively. Baker Mayfield threw just a bad interception, and the receiver kind of fell down. I still thought it was a risky play. I don't love that throw. I don't. Also, they had one of the reasons why the Falcons were able to fumble in the red zone was because the Buccaneers fumbled deep in their own territory, which gave Atlanta good field positions. So a lot of mistakes. Both defenses did play very well. And again, you look at these games, people will say, man, these teams both stink. Well, the defenses don't. The defenses are making the offenses look terrible, right? And I think that the defenses both deserve a ton of credit for what they were able to do in this football game. Specifically, we can talk about Atlanta's first. Again, this is the nice thing about being at the game. You can see how the defenses play, how the safeties are playing 2 safety deep coverages basically the whole game. There was a few plays where there was single safety deep. Mostly it was cover 2 and cover 4. Really cover 4 was a lot of what they were doing, but some cover 2 as well. They were not allowing Tampa Bay to get over the top. They just weren't. And that's just something where Tampa Bay, that's the defense they can't really beat. They haven't been able to beat that in really since Todd Bowles has gotten here, before he was even a head coach, they haven't been able to beat that. They struggled with it, against the Saints when the Saints would do that. They kept beating them in the regular season for that very reason. Against the Rams, who would do that against them, they would struggle with that. And, even now they're really struggling with it, because at least then they had Tom Brady, right, who could dink and dunk pretty well. They don't have that, and they don't have a way they can run through the quarters coverage, which is a big issue. So their running game not being effective, even when Atlanta takes another guy out of the box. Again, part of that is Atlanta's playing good. Like their run defense has actually been really good this year. So that's part of it, is that. But again, this hasn't just been one game for Tampa Bay, right? This has been a history now, which is part of the concern, I think. So that's obviously not ideal. Like I said, defense played great, with the exception of one just brutal decision by Devin White, where there was a play, again, I don't know what the broadcast showed, what the broadcast didn't, but there was a play, Desmond Ridder rolling out, he, someone's about to tackle him, but it looks like Ridder might be able to get some yards, might be able to get the first down. White is in coverage. There is, I forget which Atlanta player it was, but there's an Atlanta player behind him. And for whatever reason, Devin White runs up to try and make a tackle on Ridder. And it's like, there was a guy there, and now you just left someone completely open. Ridder can simply flip it to the guy who's completely open. It's not like Ridder was about to get tackled. Like, Ridder is able to flip it up, and they get a huge gain. Instead of being deep in their own territory, they got the ball all the way into Tampa Bay territory. Ridder eventually fumbled on that drive, so it didn't hurt them. So that's not an issue, but again, beating yourself here is what the Buccaneers did do, and what Atlanta did. And it does have to, you kind of have to wonder a little bit with both of these teams of how far of a run can they really go past just being the 4 seed and getting a home playoff game, like what Tampa Bay did last year, get the 4th seed and then get blown out round 1 because of, the way they beat themselves. Desmond Ridder made some really nice throws in this one. He had some nice runs. Those fumbles can't happen, though. And this has been an issue with Ridder. You can't turn the ball over. If you're going to be the guy who just is the game manager, you can't turn the ball over, and he's consistently turning the ball over. Baker Mayfield made some plays in this one. He did. You can't turn the ball over there. You can't throw that interception, and he missed some throws again in this one. I thought Mayfield was fine. Mayfield was not the issue. I was at the game. Some people were shouting for Kyle Trask. I think you're insane. I really do. I think that the idea that Kyle Trask would be better in this situation, Trask would be a disaster. Like, I'm sorry, I've seen that guy play enough. I don't think he's good. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Baker Mayfield is clearly the better option, in my opinion. I know you always, the most popular guy on the team is the backup quarterback, right? I get it. No, I want Baker Mayfield out there. I think he still is the best player. And again, he made some real plays to get them in position where they could have won the game, and they were at least able to tie it. Like, he was, he did a good job there. So I don't think it was Mayfield's fault. Again, is he the long-term answer? Starting to look like no, but there still is some talent there. I'm not giving up on that or anything. And I'm not giving up on the Buccaneers winning this division. It's tough. They got to play the Bills on Thursday. And, one thing that's, I think, underrated about this whole division race is Tampa Bay, because they won the division last year, now they're stuck playing San Francisco and Philadelphia. None of the other teams in the NFC South have to play those two teams. They got to play other teams. So that's a real, sometimes the first place doesn't really matter too much. Sometimes it does. This is one of those years where it does. So that, hurts Tampa Bay as well. So they just have to be a little bit better. And as of right now, Atlanta won. I mean, definitely Atlanta could take this division. I still think the Saints have a real chance. I'm not counting out New Orleans either, even though it feels like a lot of people are. Feels like either any of those three teams could still win it. I do have to say, listen, I'm not usually one to talk about other fan bases. There were some annoying Atlanta fans in this game. I don't know what it was. I don't know why. Maybe they really don't like seeing Tom Brady jerseys. There was an Atlanta fan who I heard saying like, "Oh man, look at all these people wearing Tom Brady jerseys. He's not on your team anymore." It's like, well, yeah, but he was last year, and he's a good quarterback for us. Like, he won a Super Bowl for us, and we're wearing Tom Brady jerseys. I wasn't, but like a lot of people were. I get why he would. He won a Super Bowl here. Some other Atlanta fans really being antagonistic. So, sure, a lot of Atlanta fans are great, and you only notice the bad ones. But just given my experience, I've seen a lot of away fans being from Tampa Bay, which is a very transplant-heavy area. Couple were annoying. Hopefully, it was just a couple in my section. And I'm sure most Atlanta fans are fine. I have friends who are Atlanta Falcons fans. So, it's not an insult on Atlanta Falcons fans, just the particular ones who I found annoying as I was walking out of the gate. So, there was that. But, yeah, I mean, a frustrating game. Definitely a frustrating game. Felt like they had a real chance to win this one. That opportunity when they got in first and goal inside the 10, really have to get a touchdown. And they haven't been able to convert into red zone. They haven't been great at getting to the red zone, but if you're not great at getting to the red zone, you have to at least be able to convert once you get there, and they haven't been able to do that. You hope it gets a little better. But again, it's just a thing where it's like, okay, it's first down and 8, but now they're playing quarters coverage, and Mike Evans is going to be double-teamed. Chris Godwin is probably going to be double-teamed. And it's like, what else is going to happen? Like, you don't have a one-on-one shot. You have to find a bubble. And they need to do more play action, too. That's a real thing, is they don't get guys out of position with play action at all. When they do run it, it doesn't work. So, like, they need to figure that out. And, again, it all goes down to the running game as well. While the passing game is obviously going to be way more important than the running game, if you can't get a semblance of a running game going, it's just not going to work. So, those are my main thoughts. I'll talk about it more on the podcast midnight tonight, so check that out if you're interested. But, yeah, those are my immediate thoughts on a frustrating loss. But hey, it was a fun time. Always a good time to go to a game. I always recommend it, even if you get sunburned and your team loses. It's still fun. But, yeah, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from y'all. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.